Most people believe awareness is a gift, a sign of intelligence, a sign of depth, but there's a side of awareness almost nobody talks about, because when awareness becomes too sharp, it stops feeling like wisdom and starts feeling like a light that never turns off. Imagine living in a room where the ceiling light is always on. Every shadow visible, every movement exposed, no curtains, no dimmer switch, just constant illumination. For most people, life runs with the lights slightly dim. They notice what they need to notice, and then they move on. But some minds don't have that switch. For them, awareness is always on. When you're too aware, you don't just experience moments, you monitor them. You notice what people don't say. You feel tension before anyone names it. You sense when something is wrong long before anyone admits it. A pause in someone's voice, a smile that fades just a little too quickly. A message that feels slightly different than the last one. Your brain records everything, not because you want to overthink, but because your mind never learned how to stop looking. And here's the strange part. From the outside, this looks like intelligence. People think you're emotionally aware, insightful, perceptive, but from the inside, it often feels exhausting, because your mind treats reality like a puzzle. If something changes, there must be a reason. So you search for it. You replay conversations. You scan for inconsistencies. A delayed reply isn't just timing. A shift in tone isn't just mood. A casual comment isn't just a comment, it's data. And your brain keeps updating the model. Part of you is living the moment, but another part of you is watching the moment, analyzing it, tracking it, calculating what it means. It's like living with a second screen open in your mind. And slowly, something subtle happens. The equation replaces the experience. You become so focused on understanding life that you forget how to simply live inside it. There's a psychological term for this: metacognition, the ability to think about your own thinking. For most people, it turns on occasionally. But for highly aware minds, it rarely shuts off. You don't just feel emotions, you immediately analyze them. You feel sadness, and your mind asks why. You feel happiness, and a second later you're already wondering how long it will last. It's like dancing while watching yourself in the mirror. You may perfect the steps, but you lose the music, and eventually awareness shows you something deeper. You begin to see, behind the curtain of human behavior, you notice that people don't always mean what they say. Kindness sometimes carries conditions. Confidence sometimes hides fear. Affection sometimes hides insecurity. Not because people are bad, but because people are human. And once you start seeing these patterns, you can't fully unsee them. Compliments feel layered. Apologies feel incomplete. Promises feel fragile, even when they're sincere. This is where awareness can become lonely, not because you're alone, but because you see things most people don't notice. But there's another side to this awareness: empathy. You don't just hear emotions, you feel them. You notice the tension in someone's voice, the hesitation in their words, the moment their eyes look away. Long before someone says something is wrong, you already know. People often feel comfortable around you. They open up easily. They feel understood because you notice the things most people miss. But there's a hidden cost. When you're always tuned into everyone else's emotions, you start carrying feelings that were never yours. A tense room tightens your chest. Someone else's sadness follows you home. Another person's stress stays in your mind long after the conversation ends. From the outside, you look calm, emotionally intelligent, grounded, but inside, your system rarely powers down. And here's something important. This level of awareness usually didn't appear out of nowhere. For many people, it started in childhood, in environments where emotions were unpredictable, where moods could shift without warning, where safety depended on reading subtle signals. So you learned something early. Pay attention, notice everything, stay alert. Over time, that vigilance turned into awareness, and that awareness became part of who you are. The problem is, your nervous system doesn't always realize when the danger is gone, so it keeps scanning, keeps analyzing, keeps preparing. And that's why awareness can feel heavy, not because life is too difficult, but because your system never learned that it's allowed to rest. But here's the shift that changes everything. The solution isn't seeing less, it's carrying less. Not every silence is a hidden message. Not every emotion needs to be solved. And not every signal is an assignment.
If you enjoy exploring psychology and understanding how your mind really works, subscribe to the channel, because the next video might reveal something about yourself that no one has ever explained before.